Hi there, my name is Vin Cultivatal, and on behalf of ISTH Congress Daily News, I have the privilege to be joined by Dr. Mary Cushman, who is Editor-in-Chief of RPTH. Greetings again, Mary.
Hey, Vin, it's great to be here.
So, the focus of today's conversation is learning about new RPTH initiatives. So, what I'd like to do, Mary, just to kick things off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with RPTH?
Yes, absolutely. So I am the editor-in-chief of RPTH, as you said, and it's been a really cool position to have because I was or am the inaugural editor-in-chief. So I've had the great honor and privilege to get the journal on its feet and start it on its path to future. And so that's really my role. I am a professor at the Larner College of Medicine at the University of Vermont, where I spend about 80% of my time doing research and about 20% doing patient care in hematology, specifically around thrombosis care. So that's like the nutshell.
So, can you tell us about the progress that RPTH has made over this past year of the pandemic?
It's been a wild year. We started a little over a year ago by trying to make it easier for authors and reviewers to do the things that they need to do to advance science. And we waived all of the open access charges or the article processing charges for COVID-related science. And we thought that that was the thing to do to make it easier for people to have no barriers to publishing that science in the setting of the pandemic. And it's so amazing because we're starting to emerge in some parts of the world kind of out of it. I live in Vermont, which has one of the highest vaccination rates in the world. So we kind of feel like here we're back to normal. And yeah, it's not that way everywhere. So we're really still trying to help authors as best we can to navigate things and to make it a little easier for them to work with us to get their work published. So I mean, you could talk about the pandemic for our whole time. We probably don't want to do that, but it's been a really remarkable year. And I think our scientific community has really stepped up to answer the call of what was required of us as coagulation experts during this time.
So, what are some of the new initiatives that RPTH is currently pioneering?
Yeah, so we are really proud of providing alternative formats for consumption of science and dissemination of science. And so I think you're well aware we have our illustrated review article types and different sorts of illustrated things. We're taking that digital in a different way now, and we have something called Rpth Recaps. And we have enlisted several members of our editorial board to serve as hosts for these little mini TV shows or podcasts or what have you. And they're maybe about 15 minutes, and we invite the lead author, the first author of the paper that we are discussing to come on and give a very brief presentation. And then they are interviewed by the host in a way to make it easy to consume what it is they're talking about and to have some in-depth discussion about their work. We've had, I think, 6 of these so far, and another couple are on the way. And we post them on our website and through the ISTH site and the ISTH YouTube and ISTH Academy. So there's different ways people can get these. And we've had topics, a wide variety, anything. We had a great one on sexism in the treatment of bleeding disorders with Dr. Angela Wayand, and that was really cool. And we've had one on the psychological impact of pulmonary embolism. And we've had one on preventing upper extremity deep vein thrombosis in patients with cancer. And so, we're trying to choose a selection of topics from amongst the things we're publishing that we think the listeners might be interested in hearing about. And so we're trying this out, and it's just a way to extend the branding of the science. And what happens is we post these on our social media with a hashtag Rpth Recap. So interested listeners, if you don't want to go trying to find the website for it, you can just go hashtag Rpth Recap on your Twitter, and you'll see the tweets that refer to these, so you can link to them right out of Twitter too.
Wow. There's a lot of great things that clearly you've evolved, kind of like your thinking and approach over the course of time.
Right.
Perhaps maybe if you can, right? Because you've clearly outlined several different things in place. Anything beyond the social presence and kind of the evolution of things with some of those research recaps and some of the, treatment as far as the illustrated capsules, things of that nature. Anything that's happened in the near future?
I think we're building on what we're doing, and we're constantly making efforts to bring the science to where people want to get it, right? So, and in a way that they want to see it. And so I think the thing that is most exciting and that is really accelerating is the illustrated materials. So the illustrated review article is something I would say we pioneered, because there aren't other journals doing this. And it's a fully illustrated scholarly review article. And it's fascinating because these are picking up in the pace of how frequently we're publishing them, and they can be found all in one place on our website or by using hashtag Rpth Illustrated Review on Twitter. And these are actually among the most cited articles that we publish. So, you might think it's sort of an odd thing to do and that maybe it's not serious, but when you look at the top cited articles in RPTH, these are right among them. And so we want to continue to enhance those. So we've started discussions with a professional illustrator who we're going to try out to see how they do working with authors, to try to continually improve the illustrated, the illustrations, and different of them have different types of illustrations. Some authors have hired illustrators, for example, and others haven't. But regardless, they're all really amazing and provide great information. So we're really proud of those. And then the other thing is our infographics. We about once every issue, we have a professional illustrator develop an infographic with the author that really encapsulates the article. So this is for original research articles. And these are also kind of taking off in popularity. And people can use them to illustrate PowerPoints just like they can for the illustrated reviews. And we're trying to get them so they're more in front of people. So it's not just the idea of science in different ways, it's how you pitch it and how you market it so people will see it and people will consume it and use it, because you can do all this stuff and if nobody reads it, it's not very helpful. So I think as we go forward and continue to think about how to market the science of our authors, that's a service we're doing to the authors and to the science community and to learners, all different kinds of learners.
Yeah, I love that approach, Mary, and just almost, in essence, you're humanizing the science, right? Mm-hmm. You're bringing it forward and you're putting it in those vessels, mediums in which learners and individuals, providers, they want to be educated, right? And putting it right at their fingertips, or at least in front of their computer screens.
Right. And I have a friend who teaches a course this summer at our medical school for high school kids. And, she's going to put some of these things in front of those kids so they can see that science is accessible to them. So, using these products we develop, if you will, to try to inspire people. So it's it's not easy to create a journal and be the editor of a journal, but it's kind of, I've done it before. I've been served as editor before, but this is about like taking it up a notch and having it be more alive and different than other journals, I think.
No, it's great just to see your passion, the excitement that you're expressing, the positive energy that you have around it. I'm looking forward to see how things evolve with RPTH in the not too distant future.
And speaking of the future, I'd like to tell you about our theme calls for science, if you will. So this is something we just started, and it is a way that we can ask the community to submit to us science that we're interested in publishing. And so our first one is ongoing now, and it is asking for authors to submit research articles, original research articles about the psychosocial and quality of life aspects of thrombosis and hemostasis disorders. And, a few months ago, we did publish this paper I mentioned about the psychological impact of pulmonary embolism. And this is really important for patients. And the number of people doing research in this area is relatively small. But it's really a serious issue, and also the quality of life issues about how these diseases affect people. And so articles that are accepted through this program will have their publication charge waived. And so we're using some of our resources that we have from ISTH and from our publisher Wiley to support this program. And so we're super excited. We've had a number of submissions. And so I think people are hearing us and responding. And just as of July 1st, we opened our second theme, which is the platelet coagulation interface. And, that's more of a basic science related topic, but it's also relevant for COVID as well. And so researchers who study how platelets and coagulation factors or coagulation processes interact with each other will be interested hopefully in that, and we'll get a bunch of submissions there as well.
Well, Mary, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to continuing the conversation in the not too distant future.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Until next time, I'm Ben Cultivital for ISTH Congress Daily News.